V'hinei, the kelim da'atzilus amru, as far as the kelim da'atzilus, our sages tell us, as brought down, that the iu v'chayoyi gam v'garmoyi. Say iu v'chayoyi chad, iu v'garmoyi chad. That Hashem with the energy, with the Ein Sof, and Hashem with the kelim, shu b'chinas hakelim, v'garmoyi b'chinas hakelim, kulu chad, kulu, is all one. Which means that the Ein Sof in Atzilus is united, comes together with the Oiris and the Kelim, v'nimtza. So it turns out that Gam b'malchus, b'chinas malchus, b'malchus da'asiyah, in malchus da'asiyah, shoyre Ein Sof. Because since we said that from Malchus of Atzilus comes down itself from the Kelim, the 30 Kelim, we said the 10 inner, outer, and the Chitzonis, from Atzilus comes to Asiya. So therefore, we say that there is Shoyre Ein Sof Shemeir Gam Bereshis Atzilus, which shines also in the beginning of Atzilus, and that comes all the way down up to Malchus the Malchus. Ba'im is a beginning, Kodesh Simun Chav Dalet, Simun Chav Hey, Siv Dira Maschel Avi B'Rebina. L'yeis Kein, so since that's the case, Gam B'Bechinas Koyach HaTzemeach, HaMelubas V'Eretz HaGashmi, even in the power to grow, which is dressed up in the physical world, Yeshba koyach ha'eliki legadel ulahatzmiach b'li shiruhu. That has that godly power to grow endlessly without any limitation. Because what we're saying over here, it basically has the godliness in it. It has the level of Ein Sof. It has. And since it has the level of Ein Sof, so it has the level of in the Gashmis, in Malchus. Malchus from Atzilus, Koyach Ein Sof, that's the power of the infinite Achad, Shu Koyach Nitzchi Ve'ein Lo Hefsek Gvul. Since it's an internal power that has no interruption and no limitation. Shu Koyach B'Bchinas Ein Sof, that is a power. Everything that is a derivative has that power. So basically what he's saying over here is, since it comes from Atzilus, in Atzilus there is the Ein Sof. So it doesn't matter. Ein Sof means that it's limitless. So when it comes into the next level, when it comes into the level of Asiya, in Asiya, the Malchus, still it is the level of Ein Sof. So what is he trying to explain to you? He's trying to explain to you that if we're talking about Bli Gvul, because in the end of the day, in the power of growth is Bli Gvul, because it comes from the Bli Gvul, it comes from the Ein Sof. Bli Gvul cannot come down directly to Gvul without the Gvul losing its Gvul, losing its limitations. You can't have Ein Sof come down into a level of limitations because Ein Sof is unlimited, so you can't limit it. So first, you have to lose that limitation. You have to get rid of the limitation. The seed, in order for it to grow, it needs the koyach of Ein Sof. The koyach of Ein Sof cannot dress up in the seed itself because it's limited, and the koyach of Sof is a infinite power. How could the Ein Sof dress up in the seed? By the seed first rotting away, first losing itself and becoming ayin, and then the Ein Sof can grow in it. Same thing is in avodas, in the person's avodah is going to bring out. You're trying to get the Ein Sof. We're talking about the Sof of Kol Almin, the level of Makif. to come down, that your actually love to Hashem should be coming from the higher level, from the level of Yichud Ilah, from the level of Maki, from the level of Insof. It can't come down on a level of Gavul. You need first bittul. You need first to subjugate yourself. You need to have the level of Iskafia. You have to have that as a preparation for the Ein Sof to be able to come down. Because Ein Sof doesn't come down, the Bli Gvul does not come down, and Gvul can only come down when you give up of that Gvul. You lose that Gvul. Let's look inside. For this reason. What this reason? Because we say there is Mamash Ein Sof in the power of growth. Bilti, which is the power of growth, which is the koyach halaki, bilti mugbal. I think there's like missing a word over here. The power of halaki, which is bilti mugbal. Okay. Imloi sheyurka v'yuchlol hazera nizra b'tchila v'b'chinas ayin koydem. Unless that it should rot, and the seed that is being sown should be first included in the koyach halaki b'chinas ayin koydem. It has to become ayin first. Because when it is in a level of a yesh, then he is a limited power. It's impossible that an inch should dress up the infinite power. Unless it is spread off, you remove the limitation, it becomes to ayin. So then you have the power of Bli Gvul rest in him, which is the power for growth. So this is the way it works in the seed, in growing, in the zera that you need first for the kernel, for the seed to become ayin. And then the power of the tzomeach of the Ein Sof will make it grow. And likewise, mamash in the Yuvan Lamaski Lamaila will understand, for a person who understands it is above. Shebehechrech tzorich liyos b'chinas haloas man leb'chinas hatoyu tchila. That first of all, you have to have bringing up the mayim nukvim to the level of toyu first. Ubilti zeh. Without that, you could not have the iris in the kelim. The level of ishapcha that takes place during the day of the Shvira. You need the matzah first. You need the week of Pesach of matzah to create that level of ishapcha first, in order to later on. You need the iskafia first in order to have this hapcha. Now, what is the level of ishapcha? Is Hanekamashi is hapik, ava hagashmi is liyos ava lekris minakotzuchul. What is ishapcha? So you turn around the physical love that you have, love for physicality, to become a godly love. This is from one extreme to the other extreme. And through this isarusa delatata, through the sfira soimer, yumshach gamkein milmailo merchesed el yimiklidavke. So what is going to come down through this arousal? You're going to get in the keli. What means the keli? Your ava, your actually ava is going to be an ava laki. I love you. So, which means this is going to be a love and expressive in a cave. But when we talk about the revelation of the entry in the keli, yesh mugbo, which is a entity which is limited, Yaykhel Rabbi boy, he cannot dress up in him. Ki bechinas bilti bal gvul, Yaykhel Rabbi the bechinas bal gvul, because an unlimited cannot dress up in unlimited, can now be moshul hagarit, as earlier stated in the example of the seed. She'ein koyach hatzameach mislabish boy, bihiyois b'hagbolosoi, but it cannot, the power of growth cannot dress up while it is in its limitation. Bilti im loy sheyovei lebchinas ayin chulu. It has to become ayin first. While it is in its state, it cannot come down. So kach lemailo, likewise above, bilti efsher sheyislabish oirin sov b'kelim. It's not possible for the Ein Sof to dress up in the Kelim by his hapcha turning around, as I said before. Bilti im loisha yugdam tchila b'chinas habitl behem. It's not, first you need to have the level of the bitl of the Kelim. The Hainu sheyavoyu leb'chinas ayin al yidei b'chinas iskafia. They come to the level of ayin through the level of iskafia. Shu inyan achilas matzah. That is the matzah b'chinas habitl b'lo tamchulu. That's bitl, doesn't have a taste. You don't enjoy it. It's just iskafia, just like matzah. Canal shu hanikra b'chinas halos man b'chinas hatoichul. I said before, that's called the los man to the level of toichul. Va'oz yuchal liyas achakach b'chinas hatikun. Then you can have the level of tikun. Shehu b'chinas hamshochas oiris b'kelim. Then you can have, through the bringing down the Ezbi Kelim, that's this hapcha which takes place in the days of the Sfira, the Dailamei. A koponim. This is the way he does here now, the kitzer, he writes up without koponim. So a koponim, Teichana Inyan, what is the the contest? What did we discuss here? This is like the kitzer, the short. Sheyesh beis b'chinas beis mini halos man. There's two levels of halos man. Aleph, number one is lebechinas v'malukul almim. One halos ma'im nukvin goes to the level of malukul almim shu b'chinas hatikun, which is level of tikun. V'habeis, and number two is lebechinas sevim kulam shehu hanikra toyu. Toyu is Loshin Dover Hametaheb Neodov, bewilders the people. So that meaning is beyond. It's the level of Kesed, the level of Sevim, the level of Toyu here. But Lo Asman, the Pchinas Hatikun. What is the Lo Asman to Tikun? Zeu al de Ramach Pikudim, Shehem Aramach Evorim de Malkom. That takes place with the 248 mitzvahs, which are the 248 limbs of the king. Just like the limb draws down the chayis of the soul. That is the part of the soul which is dressed up in the body, which is like mamalakul. So, in other words, the mitzvahs bring down from the level of tikkun, which is like the level of malakul. So, inyan mitzvah sfiras oimer. This is the mitzvah sfiras oimer. Shiva shavuos, the sakein hashiva midas sheyu b'chinas kelim lishkes bahem b'hirus oir. So they should become the kelim. So in them should be shining the shine of the light. That's the seventh, the sfira to malakul. V'lo asman lebechinas sevukulamim. What is that lost man for the sevukulamim? That is mitzvah achilas matzah. That is the idea of eating matzah. Lechem oni. Bechinas iskafia. That's the level of iskafia. Bechinas bitl hayesh, which is the level of bitl hayesh. Level of subjugation of the yesh. By dezeh nimshal bechinas sevukulamim sho inyan haPesach bechinas dilug l'mayla meseder ishtalshus. And that brings about the level of dilug, which is higher than ishtalshus. The level of bittul brings down the level of ayin, which is beyond the ishtalshlus. It brings kumoy al yidei choisem sheikeya shamilmato. You have this seal which is sunk in below. Sunk in means it's bittel. It doesn't protrude. It's bittel. You have this seal that is sheikeya nimshach b'chinas choisem boilet shemilmayla. You bring the higher level, the boilet from above. L'hainu hamshocha mebchinas chosav Hashem ezrei kochek meshikosu b'sidur al posik simanik yichosem. Ki iskafia ubitla yesh liyesh b'chinas ayin, because the iskafia, the bitla yesh, to be in the level of ayin, zehu mamshich mebchinas sevav kol almim. This brings down the level of sevav kol almim. Zen nemar v'hachochma ma'ayin t'motzeh. This we say chokhmah comes from the level of ayin, which means higher than ishtalshlus. Bezo commercially brings it down. You cannot have the power of growth in what's growing until it rots. So before you can get the koyach from the Sof, you have to have the level of bittul. And the same thing is, before we get the Shiva Shavuos, we need the week of Pesach to bring about the level of bittul, level of matzah. So it says now in the parentheses, these two levels of bringing up the Mayim Nukfin, Zo inyan Kabbalas oil, Parshas oil Machal Shemayim. This is the acceptance of the yoke of the heavenly kingdom in the Parshas Shema. That's Allah Asman to the level of Sevuklam. The Kabbalah Sel Mitzvahs Shebe Parshas Voim Shemoya Zehu Allah Asman Lebchinas Hatikun. That is Allah Asman Nukun to Tikshu Malakulam, which is Malakulam. So basically, Shema and Vehoya. Shema is El Machal Shemayim, that's the level of Betel, and Hoyim Shemoya is the level of El Mitzvahs, which is the level of Tikkun, which is Malklam. The Chayin is Bayer, Bidrush, Lahavin Havrit Makrishma L'Tfila, Gabe De'inu Amr over there, when he says Amr Azal Mishnah, Lama Kodma Parsha Shema Parsha Hoyim Shemoya. So quotes the Mishnah over there. Why does Shema come before Vayim Shemoya? So first you have to accept Hashem. You have to say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Once you know that there's Hashem, then you can accept the mitzvahs. Then you will limit the mitzvahs. So what does it tell us? Harei Iker Inyan Parshat V'Hoya Hu L'Kabel El Mitzvah. So the main Hoyim Shemoya, that's accepting the mitzvahs. Shema is accepting Hashem, Hashem Echad, and Hoyim Shemoya is to accept Hashem's mitzvahs. So v'hinei yadua b'inyan ha-mitzvahs. What is we know about the idea of mitzvahs? Shemin ha'machiv orim de malka. Those are 248 limbs of the king, which means the hainu b'chinas kelim v'kelim shoynim. There is the various different vessels lahashrosh in sof shel b'chinas hatikun. That is the level of tikkun. So that's the level of Vayim Shemoya. The parsha is shown the Kinishma. The Kabbalah of El Machal Shemayim. Over there you accept Machal Shemayim. Here is Machal Shemayim. What does it mean, the Malchus Shemayim? What is the Malchus? We're talking about the Malchus Shemayim. Hainu B'chinas Malchus the Ein Sof. That is the Ein Sof Shemenim Shchaka B'chut, from which Memalekul Amen. So this is the level of Sevukul. So Gamkein Inyan. It's also the idea we say Elov, Chol Koreinu Elov. We say Elov, we daven to him, but not to his measures, which means to the level of Malchus the Sof, not to the levels as it's within Atzilus. Kimeshikosova Inyan, the Siddur of Shara Krishma, Dibra Maschil, Itza B'Sifri. So Inyan Halo Asman, the B'chinas Hatoyu, this is bringing up to the level of Toyu, which is Davar HaMetah, V'hainu, So how is it accomplished? You have the bittul of Yichudei Law, the supreme level of union, which means bittul b'metzias, that's in the Shema. Even the bittul of Yichudei Dator in Baruch Shem Kvod Machus Le'Levod, which is bittul hayesh, zehu gam zeh v'alos man lemchinas ayin al derech iskafia. That is also brings out the level of ayin similar to the iskafia. As the Alter Rebbe is going to explain now, we have the two levels of bittul. You have the level of bittul b'metzias, and you have the level of bittul hayesh. Bittul b'metzias means that what melachatchila there is no metzias, that the only thing is the insof. Bittul hayesh means you feel yourself a yesh when you subjugate to Hashem. But it says that subjugation to Hashem is the level of iskafia, and notwithstanding that it's not like Yichudei Law, it's not like bittul b'metzias, but still that is the level of iskafia, which touches the level of Malchus the Insof. That's called Malchus Shemayim, and that is the level of Seivu Kulam. We see weiter. Dalet. Zeu Pirush HaPosik Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Le'Olam Vod. This is what it means. Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Le'Olam Vod. So we say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus, let it be his honorable name forever. Le'Olam Vod. The whole Bechinas Voed, say Le'Olam Voed. Whenever we say Voed, Ein Lo Hefsek. Voed Ein Lo Hefsek has no interruption, which means Kivur B'Gemara Perik Hey De'erim V'Daf Medal. V'Hainu Kivoed B'Chilufei Asvin Echad. That the word Voed, you change it around, is the same letters through the different changes that you could make. Aleph, Hey, Vov are exchangeable. Ahu, the Chesdayan and the Dal is the same. It also, so in other words, Voed is associated with Echad. Echad is considered Yichudei Law. Voed, the exchange of the letters forever, is considered Yichudei Dator. And they're related because they're both really are lasting all the time. There's no hefsek. Hine Yedua, the Pirush Yichudei Law, the Yichudei Dator, al Posik. It's known about the idea of Yichudei Law, Yichudei Dator, and the Posik. Ki Shemesh Umogen Havoye Elikim. That like the sun and the holder and the protector is Hashem and Elikim. You have the sun, and then you have the shield that is the seed of the sun that doesn't allow for the sun to fully come out. Same thing is the name of Hashem is the compared to the sun. Elikim is the Mogen. Pirush. Al derech moshel hamogen l'shemesh. By way of example, the shield for the sun. That's just like a seed for the sun itself. Kach b'chinas shem elikim u'b'chinas mogen v'nartik shem avaye shenikra shemesh. That is a shield and a seed for the shem avaye, which is called shemesh. Elikim is the cover, is the block for the shem avaye shemesh. The hainu shob'chinas hamastir al oir the shem avaye. That is a level that protects, that covers the Shem Havayim. Kedei sheyuchlu lekabel hagilui, so that they can receive the revelation. Ki inyan hamavur, similar to as explained by Posuk Anoichem Mogen Loch, I will protect you. So basically, in order for us to be able to receive the level of Havayah, it has to go through Elikim. Elikim has to be blocking it. So he says, but it doesn't mean mamash blocking. He says it's blocking, not doesn't let it through. It's like a curtain, it covers, lets it through, but it doesn't let it through in its full capacity. This is not a total blockage. Shari Amru, because the Chazal tell us, that when is Hashem great? When he's in Elikenu. That means actually Hashem's greatness can be told when he's in Elikenu. So it's not blocking. We actually see the greatness of Hashem through the fact that it's blocked. That's how we can see. It's like a curtain that separates between the Kodesh and Kodesh. But it comes through. In the future, when the world will become refined, as Hashem will take out the sun from its seed, and then the shame. Suppose in Yaykhel over there it says, so this is the pasuk over here. That's the place over here. I'm not sure the name of the pasuk. 43. So basically, it's going to bring down that the name is going to be changed. That this will be a new name. Yerushalayim will have a new name, which means through what will be the revelation of the Ein Sof in the Osid Lavai, when Hashem will take the sun out of his seed. So it will be a whole new revelation. No longer hide. Okay, so basically, at that time, there will be a new revelation. So explaining this matter, he's going to explain now the chiluk between Yichud Ilah and Yichud Tator. What is bittul b'mitzi, is bittul b'etzem, or bittul ayesh. So b'chinas ha-bittul b'etzem, k'moishu l'mayla b'atzilus, the way the bittul b'etzem as it is above an atzilus, over there, Hashem and the Chais is really one. What does it mean? Over there you have the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, includes all of Atzilus. Yud, Chochma, the Hey is Bina, Vav is the Midas, and the Hey Achrena, the Kei Achrena is Malchus. Zeu Kemoshul Ziv Hashemesh Begufa Shel Shemesh. That is like the ray of the sun is in the actual sun. Is in the sun, there is no ray. There is. It's totally subjugated. So the way it's in Atzilus, there's a total subjugation. As opposed to love Hainu. Over there, it's just a bittul of the yesh and not a true subjugation, because it is not in the sun anymore. It's not really not there. It's there, but you subjugate yourself. When we have Malchus of Atzilus to come in Biyah, who is Galus, his Pashtus, Liyos, Bechinas, his Havus, Bechinas Bal Guvul, Bechinas Yesh Davke. The way it's revealed is that there should be in Bria Yitzira Siyah, there should be a limited, there should be an entity Davke. We need to be, that's the creation. The creation is supposed to be a yesh, and that's why we have to be mevatel the yesh. Now, Ayidei Shamalchus Bechinas Reimamus, the Stalkus Malchus being in a level of exaltness and removal of the light. It only shines in a way of a name and a ray alone. So it creates sort of a separation. It creates a yesh. It creates a limited. commission is barely ill. The Nikra and Malchus is called Makoir Kol Hanivroim. That's the source of all creations. Ukiyadua, as it's known. Bahainu. So how does this take place? At the B'chinas HaTzimtzum v'HaHester, the Shem Elikim Davke. That is Davke through the level of Tzimtzum and Hester. Hey, Shalidei HaTzimtzum, Nire HaDover L'B'chinas Yesh K'meshikosu B'mokom Achad. Because it's Davke through the Tzimtzum that this appears to be a Yesh as excelled elsewhere. Harizeh Kemoshel Nartik Hashemesh. It's like the seed of the sun. The fish Shamasti because it blocks. That's why it appears that the Shemesh is an entity because the seed blocks it. So basically, Malchus blocks the light, Shem Elikim, and then we appear, the creations of Bri Sira Sira appear to be an entity, appear to be a Yesh. However, even in the Shem Elikim that hides to be Yesh Davar, over there also shines Ein Sof. Over there too, Kiyadua the Gam Shem Elikim Zen Nimshach Ma'atzvus Hamaitzel K'Meshem Havaya. That even the Shem Elikim that blocks, also comes from the Etzem of the Ma'at, just like Shem Havaya. Kikol Yochelu, because Hashem does everything, He's able to everything. The Gam B'chinas HaTzimtzum Nimtzum Me'itoi K'moi B'chinas HaYispashtus. Also the Tzimtzum comes from him, just like the Yispashtus. So while we're talking about Shem Elikim, which is limited, which is Kvul, but it also has the level of Ein Sof in it. Because everything comes from Atzvus. So from the fact that there is Ein Sof there, so from this extends B'chinas HaBittul Gam B'nivroim Balagvul. So even in those creation of Balagvul also get that level of Bittul. The Nikra Yichud Tator, that's called Yichud Tator. Shubchinas Bitla Yesh, that's the Bitla Yesh. That's not the true Bitl as is in Atzilus. In Atzilus, you have Bitl b'Metzias. That's like the Ziv HaShemesh b'Shemesh. Over here, it's outside. It's through Shem Elikim. But the Shem Elikim also has Ein Sof in it. And the Ein Sof causes the Bitl, but it's a Bitl Yesh, not the Bitl b'Metzias. This is what means that Void is exchange of letters Echad. Which is al derech shemesh umogin, that is similar to shemesh umogin. Vayim izeh b'lekutu teira b'divra maschil shirashirim perek aleph b'divra maschil b'chidish hashlishi it says b'nei Yisrael meretz Mitzrayim. Vayim izeh gamki b'parshas b'tzabe b'divra maschil zocher oslucha molik b'inyan she'amru hashvotim l'Yaakov. They said to Yaakov kishem she'ein b'libcha le'echad kam che'ein b'lebeinu. That just like you have only Hashem, they respond with Moshe Rabbeinu when he says maybe there is something with your, because the Eibishter, sort of the Shekhinah disappeared, so he couldn't tell them. So he thought maybe there is some problem with the children. So they said, no, just like in your heart is one, by house is also one. So it means that I have a clothes and a shamas at Soifkol Adoidis. We only have one to all generations. We only have Hashem. Afal became we also have only Echad, but it's not like the same level like by Yaakov, which is Bittul B'Metzias. By the B'chinas is Kafia, B'chinas Yehuda Tato Bitla Yesh. Visa B'Gemara Soipek Dalad B'Sachim Daf Nevav and Aleph. V'Ois Shah Pasuk Yaakov Avinu V'Omar. So at that point, Yaakov Avinu opened up and he said, Baruch Shem Kived Machus Leilam Void. V'Hainu. And that is Mipnei Bittul Shavru Ashvatim Hakos Yisrael Kachem Ubeinu Elechot, because this that they said about all Yidden, all the Shvatim, that we have Echot, Zayinyam Baruch Shek Ved Malchus Alevim Void, Kimivur Bezoyar Truma Dakuf Lamadalad Soif Amad Beis. Zau Inyan. Okay, you know what? Let's leave it over here, and then we'll be mamshich.
Thank you.